Modesty doesn't need to be expensive. You don't need to spend $200 on a dress or on a modest item. Modesty should be accessible for everyone. We just need to be more creative and more intentional with our purchases. In this video, I'll be sharing 5 tips that help me personally dress more modestly while still saving money, because dressing modestly and being on a budget is still possible. This video is going to be more targeted at Islamic modesty, but anyone who is trying to dress more modestly, whether that be Islamically for faith or not, or maybe a different faith, Christianity, or just for personal beliefs and values, you'll definitely find some gold nuggets in this video. I promise you, these tips you've never heard anywhere else. So make sure to stick around until the end. Let's dive right into it. Shop during the spring. So right now in North America, we're in March and we're heading into spring. This is the time to shop for your summer clothes. Don't wait until midsummer if you're looking for dresses, for skirts, or for tops, because there's no way you're gonna be finding that doesn't have an open back, slit up the skirt, or anything like this, or even like long sleeve dresses. There's no way, or it's very, very, very difficult to find that in the middle of the summer. Right now is the time where you'll be able to find those long sleeve dresses, those maxi skirts, those light fabric that you'll still be able to breathe and still be able to survive the heat while staying modest. Because how annoying is it that it's the middle of the summer and you're looking for a dress and all you see are open backs or short sleeves or midi dresses or skirts, and you're not able to find anything that actually has long sleeve. That's my biggest pet peeve, because I'm looking not to have to layer. That's my personal choice. I don't like layering. I rather find a dress that is modest, that I don't need to wear something on top of it. Because the more layers you have, the hotter you're gonna be. And I'm trying to avoid that at any cost. Seriously, shopping for summer clothes is harder than it should be. This is why I shop in springtime, because I'm able to find those items. I'm able to find long sleeve maxi dresses, maxi skirt, or long sleeve tops that have this thin material. You know what I'm talking about. The one that you don't need to layer anything under, and the one that's so light and airy that you're able to feel the air. Like even when it's 30 degrees outside, you're able to feel that air go through your body and you're not gonna be like suffocating of the heat. And what I like about shopping in retail stores is because it's so much easier for me to find my size. So even if I wanted to order from these modest companies, modest brands, a lot of them are either international, so shipping is expensive, and the sizing is so off. Like in some brands, I'll be a small, in some brands, I'll be a large. Like, how am I supposed to know, well, the measurements? Sometimes the measurements are not accurate. I'm sorry, but the measurements are not accurate. So I'm gonna have to pay for shipping to Canada. Then if it doesn't fit, most of the time it's actually cheaper for me just to keep the item rather than ship it back. So I'm losing money, I'm not saving money, and I'm not even able to use the item or the piece of clothing that I bought. So I really, really, really don't like shopping online, especially for dresses or for certain items, because it never fits me right. Just never does, and I just end up wasting money. If you've watched this video this far, please let me know in the comments what is your favorite modest tip to stay cool in the summer or to stay on a budget. Please mention it below so we can all learn from each other. One thing I love doing is thrifting. A lot of people associate thrifting with being poor or not being able to afford new clothes, and that's totally wrong. So remove that stigma from your head, remove that negative connotation to thrifting, because you can find amazing, amazing pieces for a fraction of the price. On the other hand, there's people that will tell you, well, thrifting isn't worth it anymore because everything is so expensive. I agree. Things definitely skyrocketed in price just like everything else. But if you are comparing a Walmart t-shirt to a thrift store t-shirt, of course it doesn't make sense for you to buy a secondhand item when you can buy one for the same price at a big box retailer. However, With secondhand shops, you find a lot more of quality items with natural fibers such as linen, cotton, rayon, wool, not specifically for the summer, but you really find these quality items, and most often than not, they are a fraction of the price if you were to buy them completely new. Natural fibers will help you feel more cool in the summer as well. So linen, cotton, rayon are breathable materials. So polyester, for those who don't know, polyester is plastic. So again, these big brands are selling these dresses or selling these items at extreme high prices, and you're paying like $150, $200 for plastic. While I can go to the thrift store, have a linen top for $5, $10, and I don't know, that the math ain't mathing for me, you know what I mean? So thrifting is definitely a great resource if, for example, you're a new Muslim convert, you don't have a lot of modest clothing in your wardrobe. Buying a whole new wardrobe is very expensive. So go to the thrift store, and when you go, don't just like go a couple of racks, like 1, 2, 3 items, and then move on to the next rack. Oh, there's nothing here. No, when you go to a thrift store, you need to check every single item, every single one, even in maybe a row that is not your size. Because a lot of people, what they do is like they go with their cart and maybe they don't want this item anymore, so they just put it back, but it's not actually an extra large or a large. Maybe it's a small or extra small. That happens to me all the time. Make sure you check all the racks. And what I do is I go to the dress sections and I look, okay, is this like a maxi dress or not? Even if it doesn't seem to be my size, I still pull it out and I'm like, okay, would this fit me good? Because sometimes you can find something ugly on the rack, but once you put it on, it actually fits you very well. Like, you can truly find beautiful pieces. I found some maxi skirts for $4, like a black maxi skirt. I found a linen top for $10. What else did I find? I also found some boots, Pajar boots for winter for $2 when they're worth $400. So I was pretty happy about this one. This was a couple of months ago, and up until this day, it's probably the best thrift I've ever found. So I need something to top that, hopefully one day, but it's okay if I don't. You can also find some cute cardigans for summer. You can find layering pieces. You can also find some shoes, maybe some jewelry. You can find leggings or tights for, you know, the winter or summer. Another thing you can find at the thrift store is hijabs. I know it might seem a little bit weird, but I've actually found so many beautiful pieces. These are some of my favorite hijabs. Like, look at that color. I love it. Like, literally, you can find any single thing. It doesn't mean that because you go thrifting that you can't buy any new clothes either. How I like to think about it is that it offsets when I buy something new. So for example, like, you can't find every single thing you want because it's not like a store. So you're not guaranteed to find, for example, a maxi dress. You're not guaranteed to find a cardigan, right? But you go looking and you hope that you're gonna find something that fits you and that is your size and that it's something you're looking for. But for example, if you need to buy something new, let's say you bought a dress for $15 at the thrift store, and then you bought a brand new item, for example, for $40. So the grand total of that was $55. Now, if you divide that by 2, it's like both items costed you a little bit over $25, which is not that bad when you think about it. So that's my girl math, and that's how I like to think about it. Now, this is specifically for my hijabi sisters. Hijab magnets. So for the past 2-3 years, the whole internet has been obsessed with hijab magnets. When I first started wearing hijab, that's literally all I use. I never use pins. Only like if I need to pin something like on top or at the back. But like here, only used hijab magnets. I absolutely love, love, love them. But they're a tiny bit expensive. I saw hijab magnets selling anywhere from $4 to $15 Canadian. I don't have $15 to spend on a single pair of hijab magnets. Like I just don't have that money. So I'm like, okay, how can I still wear hijab magnets because I love them. I love the versatility. I love how easy it is. You know, I don't pin myself or I don't hurt myself. So I'm like, okay. So I went on Amazon and I bought some magnets. You can buy it any single wear, doesn't matter where you buy them. And then I also went to Michael's and I got some spray paint. So I got the color gold because it kind of fits with my jewelry. It fits with the colors I wear, but you can literally choose any color you want. Like it can be blue, whatever you want, they have it. And these magnets are so strong. Literally, they are so strong. I'm in shock, literally. Those little magnets are like, looks like magnets, right? Like the ones you would put on your fridge. So I'm like, let me spray paint them so they look more aesthetically pleasing and they look more like a hijab magnet. So if ever it's showing a little bit, it doesn't look like I went to my fridge, pulled out a magnet and just clipped it on my hijab. So as you can tell, the process is fairly easy. You don't need a lot of equipment. It doesn't take time, like 10 minutes tops total. Like you need to wait between the coats, but absolutely doesn't require any skill or any kind of maintenance or anything like that. And what I like is that you can have these magnets for a long time. So this pack was a pack of 50. So I got 25 pairs of hijab magnets for the price of about 90 cents Canadian. That's a big difference. That's literally a big difference. So if you love wearing hijab magnets but don't want to pay the price for them, definitely look into making your own. And I tested them for you, like under the water, even with sweat, it doesn't come off because it is spray paint. If you're anything like me, you lose your hijab magnets all the time. So I have my purse, and since they are magnetic because it is a magnet, like I stick them, I have the bad habit to stick them to my purse. And then I go about my day and then it's gone. I can't find it anymore and I lost it. So that's literally $10 gone, just like this. And I'm like, I just can't do this. I can't do this. My pockets are empty, you know? So I'm like, I need to find a way to work with my bad habits. I mean, you only really need a pair because technically you only wear one hijab at a time. But like, I just lose them all the time. So I'm like, I need to find a way to get them for cheaper because I need to save my pockets. So this is when I started thinking, okay, I need to make my own. So this is the difference side by side from a popular brand, hijab brand. And you can see here that it is very similar. I mean, you can argue that it's less aesthetically pleasing, but let's be honest, in terms of comparison for the price, for the quality, they're pretty on par. The only thing I will say is that they're a little bit hard to break apart because they don't have that rounded feature around them. They're a little bit harder, but other than that, they feel literally the same. So now here's another point. Tip number 4 is to learn how to sew. I know it can seem scary. I was scared too when I first started. Literally, that was like 3 weeks ago. But I promise you, there's so many channels on YouTube or just even buying a book and following. It's not as hard as it seems, I promise you. So it doesn't mean that you necessarily need to learn how to sew like dresses or tops or anything like that. But what I mean by learning how to sew is learning how to do small alterations. I know personally, there's so many times I need to like shorten pants or sew up like a slit or maybe, you know, put a cover because it is a plunging neckline. And I don't want to have to wear like a tank top under it when I could just put like a little bit of fabric and ta-da, it works. So definitely learn how to sew, whether that be by hand or with a machine. I find with a machine, it's so much easier and faster because I don't have all the time in the world. My mother had one, so I was able to, you know, not purchase one. There's also a lot on Facebook Market or on secondhand shops. You can definitely find one for less than $50 if that's something you're interested in. I mean, in terms of alterations, it's super expensive. Like if you're looking to hem pants or hem a skirt, it can easily be like $20. So if this is something that you find with your clothes, whether you're really short or whether your proportions, your body type needs more alterations, definitely give learning how to sew a try. Think about all the times where maybe you were gifted some clothes, maybe you were traded some clothes, maybe you were given secondhand clothing and you were not able to use these items because they were not to your level of modesty. Well, now with sewing, you have a way to remediate that. Sewing is definitely a skill that the previous generation knew how to do, but somehow our generation were not taught how to sew. Like it was a basic life skill that literally just disappeared. And I think it's time for it to make a comeback, especially for the modest girlies, especially if you are on a budget. You need to learn how to sew. When I first started with this machine, like it was all getting bunched up for no reason. Like the thread was just not being able to like do a beautiful stitch. So I had to look on YouTube and literally like after 5-10 minutes, I found the problem. My mother 20 years ago had to bring it to like a shop and they still didn't know what was the problem. So you are fortunate to have YouTube to be watching this video. Don't go watching now. Wait till you finish this video. And then you can learn how to sew. Like literally, you have so much information at the tips of your hands, you have no excuses. So it's definitely a skill that you can use within your household and that can benefit not just yourself, but your whole family. Last but not least is maternity wear. Wait, hold on, before you leave, you don't need to be pregnant to wear maternity wear. But what I've noticed from a lot of brands, and if you've ever been pregnant and needed to buy some maternity clothes, please comment and please confirm what I'm saying. Because a pregnant woman, has to have that coverage for her belly. She doesn't want to go full belly out. It doesn't mean that they look like maternity clothes. They just look like regular clothes. But they are longer, they are more modest than your regular clothes. If ever you do want children in the future, that can be helpful at that time as well. So don't sleep on maternity wear because you can find more modest clothing at any time of the year, whether that be summer or winter. Usually, and what I've personally noticed and some of my friends as well, is that maternity clothes are more modest to kind of have room for that bump to grow. Usually it's more like tunics or longer shirts that cover the backside as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Maternity wear will also be looser, flowier, more feminine, and can really add something to your wardrobe. So don't sleep on maternity wear. That being said, thank you so much for watching my video. Dressing modestly and staying on a budget is totally possible. We just need to be a little bit more intentional. We need to be more creative. We need to outsource a little bit more, but it's definitely possible. Dressing modestly, especially for religious values, should not come to how much you make, what is your income. It should be accessible for every single woman or man on this planet that does want to better themselves, whatever that reason might be. Modesty is definitely a spectrum, so everybody is on their own journey. Other religions might not have the same requirements when it comes to modesty, but personally, I think modesty is anything that goes against what society is kind of educating you or is kind of pushing towards that. And I applaud every single woman that is prioritizing modesty despite movies, despite society, despite social media, really pushing women to reveal themselves, reveal their beauty. No matter what your intentions are, no matter your purpose for doing this, I really applaud you and I encourage you from the bottom of my heart for you to keep going. No matter, how hard it is sometimes. Maybe there's a lot of judgment. Maybe you don't feel like you fit in, but keep going, especially if it is for God, whether you're Christian or Muslim. Keep that in the back of your mind every single day. and God willing, God will make it easier for you and for all of us. With that being said, thank you so much for watching my video. Please let me know in the comments what is your favorite modest tip. I would love for us to learn from each other. And make sure to like and subscribe and turn on the bell notification to be notified of my next video. See you next time. If you found any value to this video up until this point, please make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, let's continue.